There are so many interesting things that happen when nobody's watching. We should really be grateful that we have the opportunity to capture these with our smartphones these days. We usually don't believe what we don't see, but today we bring you amazing moments that no one would believe if they weren't filmed. Here we go. When a strange-looking fish washed up on the shores of Coal Oil Point Reserve near Santa Barbara in 2019, it took the world by surprise. It had a very unusual body and had a body which was taller than it was long. Conservation specialist Jessica Nielsen at first glance assumed it to be an ocean sunfish or a mola mola, but she wasn't so certain. She put the pictures of the mystery fish on social media, which caught the eye of a University California professor, Thomas Turner, who rushed to the beach to confirm the sighting. He then took pictures of the creature and put it online and finally got the attention of Australian researchers who suspected that the fish was a hoodwinker. Marine scientists Marianne Nygaard, who also described the hoodwinker, visually confirmed the fish as a hoodwinker, which was later verified through a DNA testing. Since they are so hard to find, this excited a lot of people in the marine community. Their sightings have been documented as early as the 19th century, but it was not officially discovered and classified until 2013. They are an incredible species of fish, which can grow really fast at a rate of 800 pounds in just 15 months. They're generally seen off the coast of New Zealand and Australia, so finding them so far away from their usual range was surprising. Scientists attribute this unlikely migration to climate change. What an incredible creature nonetheless. This one will just swell your heart if you're a hopeless romantic, because let's face it, who doesn't adore love letters? A total of 57 love letters were found on the beach by a 14-year-old boy in New Jersey just before the place was hit by Hurricane Sandy. The letters were written by a young woman residing in New Jersey to a lover who lived in Vermont. No one can tell where these notes were in the ocean or how they ended up here, but they were brought to the shore by the strong currents. Luckily for us, these letters made it to the beach and restored our faith in true love. These letters were written up to the evening of the couple's wedding day. They were found sealed in a box, and of course they got wet in the water. The boy who discovered them was able to save them by drying each one separately. He also read each of them. Every letter ended with, "I love you dear and miss you very much, all my love always, Dottie." No doubt finding like this are something we can all relate to, despite the mundane realities of life. In the year 2017, South Africa saw 3 separate occasions of great white shark bodies washing up on the shore. But there was something peculiar about these sharks. All of them were lacking their livers. The logical assumption would be that people removed the livers themselves, but the reality was different. A small team of researchers examined the bodies and performed autopsies to determine the reason behind this strange lack of liver. The culprit was determined to be an orca. You must imagine how large the orca was, because these sharks are huge. The largest shark was 5 meters long and weighed around 1,100 kilograms. Weirdly, one of the sharks was also missing its heart, so basically the orcas took the most nutrient-rich parts of the shark's body. Kayaking is one of those activities that seem pretty cool at first, but upon closer glance, it can be a little too dangerous. Just imagine yourself in the middle of nowhere on a tiny kayak and all by yourself. Now picture the big blue ocean around you with no sign of life anywhere. Well, this video shows a man in the same situation, and similar to the movie Open Water, a shark starts surrounding his kayak. What would you do? The shark was about 5 meters long. It seems it couldn't have been a happy ending. Thankfully, the man survived and now has this video as proof. When Wisconsin resident Jimmy Sender went out for his daily morning walk one fine day along the Samuel Myers Beach Park, he didn't expect to come across what he'd found. He discovered an object wrapped in aluminium and a rubber band. Sender picked it up and opened the package to discover, to his horror, what looked like human brain, along with some flowers and Chinese currency. He didn't know why and how the package ended up there. He reported the package to the local police, who too agreed that it was probably a human brain. Fortunately, after the Racine County Medical Examiner's Office examined the package, they verified that it was not a human brain after all. But the mystery of the origin of this package still remains. Beachgoers in Norfolk, England didn't expect to find gigantic pipes all along the sand one fine morning in the year 2017. One of the pipes was more than half a kilometre long. A human could easily have walked in them. They had a 2.5 metre wide opening in the centre. People were quite curious as to where they came from, and just like the Muruwai monster, there were a lot of incredible theories. The reality was, however, quite simple. These pipes had fallen out of a Norwegian boat that was on its way to an Algerian power plant. The unusual appearance did manage to draw in a fair amount of onlookers and quite a few social media posts that made it viral. The Norwegian company named Pipe Life, which was responsible for the transport of these pipes, requested the spectators to stay away from them, in case one of those got caught in the tide and was swept back into the sea while people were close to them, inside, or swimming in the vicinity. It could lead to fatal consequences. A recovery team was sent to the beach as soon as possible to clean up the accidental mess, and nobody was hurt. This event, however, did become a story the locals will be retelling for quite a long time. Maybe pirates don't exist anymore, but treasure hunting is still a popular thing out there. If you know where to look, you'll surely find something valuable. This was the case for Jonah Martinez, a 43-year-old treasure hunter who found a fortune only using a metal detector in the right place. In a beach in Florida, Martinez found some Spanish coins dating back to 1715. He was able to dig out 22 silver coins, and though he estimated the cost of his discovery was almost $6,000, he decided to keep them for himself because he didn't care about the money. He's really interested in collecting pieces of history. Jonah has been doing this for more than 24 years. Maybe it's true what people say. It's just a matter of being at the right place at the right time. Sometimes the beach might be a place to discover your fortune. This was certainly the case for a family who went on a beach trip in Wales. Martin Green, along with his family, came across a strange sight on the beach where they saw a log which was covered in what looked like alien-like creatures poking in and out of their white shells. Surprised by what they saw, Martin's son Daniel decided to find out exactly what these creatures were. After a Google search, they were very pleasantly surprised to know that there was something called gooseneck barnacles. They're considered to be a rare delicacy, with each of them being sold for as much as $32. An estimate of all the barnacles on this log gave a total figure of a whopping $67,000. They are one of the most expensive marine dishes out there and are sold up to $440 per kilo at the most. It seems the Green family didn't just come out of this family trip happier, but richer. Animals can be quite annoying. Pigeons or monkeys are just an example of how bothersome some animals can be. And it's even worse when you want to relax on the beach and suddenly a bunch of seagulls come flying around, ruining your day by stealing your food. The seagulls from Finding Nemo are just a little sample of how irritating they can be. They have even stolen dogs from people's houses. There are a lot of different videos on the internet of people being chased around the beach, and we can't stop thinking about just how frustrating it is to be bothered on your day off by these creatures while you're eating your favourite food. This is probably the strangest one on the list. Neptune's grass is something that grows under the southern Australian coasts. The remains of this grass intermingled and led to the formation of this hairball-like thing you can see in the footage. If you're expecting these balls to be small, think again, because the average ball of Neptune grass is roughly as big as an adult fist. These big brownish balls of fuzz will eventually wash up on shore, especially after the storms hit the coasts. Locals are used to finding thousands of these balls appear overnight. It's a strange grass, but its presence on the beaches is pretty harmless and poses no direct threat to the people or the environment, but we all know too much of anything is bad. Have you ever asked yourself, I really want to know what is the oldest message sent via a bottle? No? Well, we haven't either, but anyway, we bring you that information today because we know the answer. Found on Western Australia Beach, the bottle discovered by a Perth family has been around for 132 years since it was thrown into the sea. The family took the bottle home without having any idea of what it could possibly be, and after some studies, experts confirmed that it was from a German ship named Boggler and dated on June 12, 1886. The previous Guinness World Record was only 108 years old. It's crazy to think how long these letters have been lasting in the sea, even after being exposed to the sun and the water. The giant squid is the biggest invertebrate on the planet and can weigh almost a ton. Images of this species are very hard to capture because of its deep water habitat, but imagine finding it on the beach and alive. Unfortunately, the story doesn't have a happy ending. As you can see, a group of people found this giant squid lying on the Britannia Bay in southwest South Africa. The 13.7-foot-long creature was alive, but it didn't last long. It was still pumping out ink, and one of the bystanders wanted to move it back to the ocean, but it was too late. Rest in peace, big guy. This one must have caught your attention too. This bizarre event occurred back in 2014 at a beach in Turkey, where a tourist found these conjoined dolphin twins on the shore in the town of Izmir. At first, a lot of people assumed this was just a hoax staged to gain attention, as finding conjoined twins in the marine world is exceptionally rare, and there are only 5 documented cases of conjoined dolphin twins to date. The two-headed dolphin was around 1 meter in length, and experts were able to determine its age, which was rumored to be just about 12 months. Even more astounding is the fact that this is one of the only 2 documented cases of conjoined dolphin twins to have lived past the fetal stage. The dolphins were probably thrown out of the water due to a storm and died before they could make their way back. And this story gets even more mysterious because when the representatives of the local university came to collect the body to study and put it on display, it was nowhere to be found. Mind-boggling, right? Do you like eating mussels? Well, we don't recommend eating these ones. There's no specific reason, it's just that their presence is a mystery. A few years ago, a beach in South Africa was covered with thousands of black mussels covering around 325 yards. Imagine waking up one day and finding this landscape in front of your house. While some people assumed it was caused by a red tide, a dangerous algal bloom, other experts believed it made more sense that the mollusks probably got dislodged by the heavy seas. If it was algal bloom, then the mussel would have been dead. But that wasn't the case here. It was not the first time that this happened, and experts recommend not eating them, even if you are a seafood lover. When you're on a beach, you expect sunny days and warm weather. However, that's not the case in this beach located in the Gulf of Ob in northwest Siberia. Thousands of icy spheres of different sizes from a tennis ball to up to 1 meter covered 18 kilometers of the coast. This strange yet mesmerizing sight was something that the inhabitants of the village had never seen before. They're created by a rare environmental process where small pieces of ice form and are rolled by wind and water and end up as giant snowballs on the beach. Imagine having a massive snowball fight here. The beach doesn't just wash up mysterious sea-dwelling creatures, but also discarded items made by humans. Beachgoers in Florida came across an unusual item while taking a stroll on the Pasagria beach in St. Petersburg. Upon closer inspection, they found out that it was actually a barnacle-covered explosive from World War II. That's right, the beach just spat out something which is more than 76 years old. This unexploded ordnance was a public risk, so the local sheriff advised everyone on the beach and the neighborhood to evacuate. They called up the bomb squad along with experts from the MacDill Air Force Base to help detonate the explosive safely. After further observation, it was found out that the object was actually an M122 photo-flash bomb, which is a type of pyrotechnic explosive. Luckily, no one was hurt and the ordnance was safely detonated. It was captured on Bondi Beach, Australia, where a massive monster with countless bizarre tentacles suddenly materialized on the shore. The beachgoers were drawn to this odd beast and the men in hazmat suits. The thing resembled a gigantic octopus that had just emerged from hell. Don't worry, however, you are secure because the apocalypse has not yet begun. This fictitious octopus from hell was erected there to promote the last season of the Netflix series Stranger Things. What do you guys think of these kinds of marketing gimmicks? Do they generate fear among the populace? Please share your thoughts in the section below. When mating season arrives, millions of capelins start rolling to the shore with the help of waves. Then the beach is covered by a beautiful silver color. Because of this event, thousands of birds and whales come along looking for a meal by feasting on these little fish that can reach up to 20 centimeters long. Although it doesn't have a specific date, the event takes place mid-June or July. People love to see it, and even the most inexperienced fisher will leave the beach with a handful of these capelins. Another fun fact is that almost all males die during this season because they are semiparous, which means they'll only breed once in their lifetime and they'll die after fulfilling that mission. Whereas females leave the spawning grounds immediately and can mate again without any restriction. This is a rare sight which you can catch in Newfoundland and Labrador. Well, that's it, our top 12 beach moments that no one would believe if they weren't filmed. Maybe beaches are not all that relaxing after all. Just so you don't miss out on such crazy beach happenings in the future, always have your smartphone camera on the ready. Do let us know in the comments which moment you like the most, and before you go, be sure to smash the like button, share and subscribe for more amazing content. See you next time. In an unexpected find, a group of miners and geologists came across strange pieces of wood and metal along Namibia's skeleton coast. After a bit of digging around, they discovered a buried shipwreck. The experts believed it to be the remains of a Portuguese vessel, Bom Jesus, which sank along with its crew in 1533 on its way from Lisbon to India. This discovery was a big deal since it was the first one to be ever discovered in southern Africa. But what's more, it was filled with gold coins and over 100 elephant tusks. After conducting mitochondrial DNA and isotope analysis on these tusks, the researchers were able to trace its source to West Africa from the African forest elephant. These species were known to have migrated from their natural habitat in the forests of West Africa and the Congo Basin to the dry savannas in the early 20th century. But seeing their tusks on the Boggler could mean that the tusks were sourced near the coast itself from where it was loaded onto the ship. This pokes a huge hole in the theory that these pachyderms left their natural habitat only in the 20th century and pushes the date back to as far as the 16th century during the time when Boggler was sailing. Such big revelations from a 500-year-old shipwreck. Crazy. Sand dollars are a species of flat sea urchin that inhabit temperate and tropical coasts of Central and South America. They're occasionally found as far as the eastern coast of the USA, but these burrowing animals like a warmer climate. Seemed a bit weird when sand dollars started to appear on the beaches in northern Oregon during the summer of 2021. Thousands of urchins were seen washing up and dying all along the coast. Scientists and locals were worried about this massive die-off as no visible cause has ascertained for this happening. Probably it could have been caused by a recent change in sea currents. Serpents are some of the oldest and most widespread mythological symbols, but seeing a real-life 32-foot-long serpent would be enough to send chills down your spine. Take a look at this incredible footage that our team has recently discovered. At first glance, it looks like a giant sea serpent carcass has been washed ashore, and the gentleman next to it seems quite excited about his discovery. But guess what? This strange-looking creature is entirely fake. Actually, it was a stuffed figure of a giant sea serpent that was put on a display at the beach site. The creator of it is a well-known Japanese artist, Dr. Takashi Yamada. Belonging to a proud samurai family, Yamada has been creating fake mythical creatures and supernatural specimens for over 5 decades. He's credited to craft an entire species of mythological characters out of organic and inorganic material. His collection includes a 2-headed baby, mermaid baby, octopus baby, lobster baby, penguin baby, and 3-headed baby. His is not just a figure of speech. The 6 rogue taxidermy infants are made from Yamada's own skin. A nasty project, isn't it? Before moving to number 1, look at this image. What was this man thinking? Although this may look funny, the reality is it's very dangerous. If the picture is not enough, then let's review what happens after a jellyfish stings you. If it's a poisonous variety, it'll leave thousands of tiny stingers called nematocysts in the skin, which will continue releasing venom into its victim's body. Even if there are only a few species of jellyfish that can be life-threatening, the discomfort caused by their stingers can cause nausea, dizziness, vomiting, and a burning sensation on the skin. Long story short, you don't want to be stung by a jellyfish. Poor guy. When a strange sea slug-like creature washed up on the Australian coast of Fremantle, local women sought the advice of social media. Upon seeing pictures, netizens confirmed that the creature is a sea hare and that she should not let her dog anywhere near it since they are toxic to canines. Colin Brown, a professor at Macquarie University, described sea hares as being mildly toxic and can vary in toxicity based on the algae they've been consuming. They're also known for producing a purple dye upon being threatened. This was seen in action when a Queensland woman from North Brisbane came across a beached sea hare which seemed to be bleeding on the Scarborough beach. Turns out what she thought was blood was actually ink. There are currently 22 known species of sea hares in the New Pacific Ocean, and they're all toxic to dogs. The symptoms can vary depending on the dog, but mostly they include seizures, vomiting, spasms, excessive drooling, and even death in some cases. The lesson here? Always be cautious with your dogs around beaches, in case one of these sea hares are wandering about. That's all for today's list. We hope you were as surprised by these as we were. For more videos like this, keep watching our channel. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and stay tuned for more smashingly informative content.